Hey there, YouTube friends, Masked Bandit here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and we have a bit of something new today. That's kind of how I've been rolling lately, just throwing whatever at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I've been in a Planet Coaster mood ever since the new DLC hit, the Studios Pack DLC. I got it on the first day and I started playing around with it, and it is super awesome. And it actually inspired me to start a little Studios park. Actually, to be fair, Jonty from Geekism inspired me to do this. I saw his picture, and he was inspired by Universal Studios entrance arch, and he was going to build a Studios park. And I said, oh, I want to do that. And so I did. Except I didn't want to do Universal. I wanted to do Universal, but he did it first, and I didn't want to totally copy him. So I'd only slightly copy him. And so I decided to do my entrance and park based off of Disney Hollywood Studios. And welcome to BroNation Studios. This park is going to be a sort of like mini-series or quasi-regular series. It'll happen when it happens. I know that, like, what about Conifer? What about actual Bro Coaster? What about your stadium? What about that other weird adventure mine ride coaster you did? Where are all of those? They're still there. It's just, I can't stay tied down to a project for very long. It's who I am! And I'm sorry, I can't change who I am. So hopefully you enjoy the randomness that is my Planet Coaster videos, and you get them when you get them. Like, I gotta do it when it moves me, and right now the Studio Pack is too cool to not be spending a lot of time with. So, yeah. I was fortunate enough to be able to live stream that Studio Pack the first day it came out, so if you want to see more about what's in the actual pack, you're gonna want to check out that live stream. It'll be linked at the end of this video. Yeah, so you could do that. I spent about an hour and a half, and a good chunk of it was spent just fooling around with the DLC. And then another part was spent sort of starting what we're working on right now, which is a diner. This diner, the shape is inspired by, I think it's called Mel's Drive-Thru in Universal Studios, which is actually inspired by a real diner in LA. And I didn't know that, so I learned something while starting this, and it is going to be named Ruby's. R-U-B-I-H. No, apparently there's a diner called Ruby's in California. And again, I had no idea. No clue. Had no idea. But this is going to be named after the BroNation member, Ruby, who is a pivotal? I don't think pivotal's the right word. An integral, better word, is an integral part of the BroNation Discord. I'm thinking I'm going to have a lot of nods to the active members of BroNation, as well as a lot of tongue-in-cheek things and inside joke things, and maybe some other things, but that's what you can expect. I mean, it's called BroNation Studios for a reason. I got a couple different ideas. If you're on the server, or you've just been paying attention to Bro Coaster, or Jubilee, or any of the other things that any of the bros have been doing, and you have any good ideas for like Easter eggy type things, throw them down in the comments and I will be sure to check it out. And I can't promise I'll use your idea, but I'm always open for fun ideas, and I'd like to think I'm pretty open-minded, and nothing that I have planned is ever set in stone, maybe except for a couple things, but anyway. So yeah, what we were doing here is we are building the round portion of this diner, and these are always a pain. The good thing is that this is a fairly new park and low piece count, which means I was really not worried about running into that awful advanced move tool crash that I end up getting quite frequently in No Name Landia. If you're unfamiliar, it's when you do this dome, I'll call it the quote-unquote dome technique, where you build a wedge and then rotate it around a central axis. When you do that, for me, the way it works is if you do that in a park that has lots of pieces, it crashes pretty regularly. I'd like to say just about every time, but of course that wouldn't be true. So most times when I'm using the advanced move tool in this way to build a round structure, or a mostly round structure, I get this crash, and it's not like a crash to desktop, it's just the whole game freezes, and I can move my mouse, and everything is still going, but I can't click on anything. And I know a bunch of people have run into that, so But anyway, luckily I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to worry about that with this one. So this diner came together pretty nicely. Big shout out to Haplo for that awesome font, and I will throw the description to the workshop link in the description below, and you can download that font. And since this video's been made, since it's been recorded, he's made at least two more fonts, and he's thrown them on the workshop. Great fonts. They're a little big, but he actually worked on a really small one just today, and I'm recording this on the 31st of March. So that should be on the workshop when this video comes out. It's a smaller version of one of his fonts, and it is fantastic. I cannot wait to download them and use them all over the park. So one of the big additions to Studios Pack, actually it was part of the free update that dropped when Studios Pack did, was the glass walls. No more having to use gemstones as walls, which is actually something I never did. And so here I am building a wall with gemstones. And it's actually intentional. In the reference image, if you look, there's a lot of these square, like retro square glass panels, and I wanted to recreate that at least a little bit. So I did take advantage of the glass in the round portion, and then I like these gemstones as the blocked glass. I think that works really well. One of the things, if you have if you have the Studio Pack and you like using the animatronics for scale reference, don't use the ones in the Movies Pack. They are significantly larger than the in-game peeps. The Archer is still the best reference piece as far as actual Plinko peep size. So if you use animatronics for reference, keep using that Archer. It's still your best bet. So I'd highly recommend that. Yeah, and so this came together pretty easily once I got the round part in. I do plan on doing an interior, and we'll see how that works. But it was basically trim a lot. I like the fact that I went with a whole custom entryway. I don't think I've ever done that before. I usually always use the doors or the doorways. This is not. You saw me use some different pieces there. Just tweaking and getting some details done completely and making things look a little smoother and nicer. You'll notice that this building is still very unfinished. What I wanted to really work on, since this is supposed to be modeled after a pretty planned park, and you can see we just made a cut there. I wanted to plan out the layout a little bit more before I went and added a bunch of stuff. So you'll notice the diner is missing quite a few details, and it's going to stay that way until I lock down everything. Here, we're working on an extension to our entrance, and I realized when I first built this, I just built it and just kind of went with it because I wanted to get it done quickly, this entrance here, so it would be ready for Studios Pack. But after the fact, I went and I realized that this isn't actually the tickets. This isn't the entrance turnstiles. You have to walk. This is where you buy your tickets and then you walk through. And so I had to build the actual gate, the actual turnstiles. And obviously Disney doesn't have those anymore. They have those magic band things, but whatever. I'm probably going to use turnstiles. So we build this in the same vein. You can see, apologies I didn't get any of the actual entrance building on the time lapse, but it's about 85% art shapes, and then there's some signs for the neon, and then just a few in-game walls. So another little cut here as we work on the turnstile building. I can tell you right now, I hate this, and it's really throwing off my scale for the rest of the area. I am going to delete this and start fresh and make it actually simpler and smaller. I have to spam some more archers. I think scale is getting away from me a bit. The problem here is doing a planned park like this and trying to lay everything out first. I tend to lose scale really, really quickly. And so you look at that entrance and it completely dwarfs the diner, and it shouldn't. So, and it wasn't until after I finished today and started putting this episode together and rewatching the footage that I really realized how huge this entrance is. I'm gonna keep the ticket booths, the part, the actual part that's inspired by Hollywood Studios. I'm gonna keep that, but I am gonna narrow up this gate and bring everything closer, because I am gonna follow the layout of the entrance of Disney Hollywood Studios pretty closely. And actually, this is a major failed attempt here at creating like sidewalks and stuff. And you could see probably quicker than I can that this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So I spend way too long with it before I realize that I don't like it at all. And so there's going to be another cut here in a few seconds where you're going to see the current version being worked on. And that's where we're going to be blocking out a lot of the entrance area things. We have the diner, and it'll be connected to some restrooms, guest services, and on the other side we'll have a gift shop and some more like staff building type things. And it's all going to be in this deco 50s retro, because that's basically what Islands of Adventure. Oh my God, that's basically what Hollywood Studios is. And I mentioned this in the live stream. I've only been to this park once, and that was, if it wasn't the year it opened, it wasn't. I remembered. In the live stream, I said I was at this park the year it opened, and that was when it was MGM Studios, and it opened in 1989. And that wasn't the case. I was there in 1990. I think it was the fall of 1990, because I remember my mom was pregnant with my sister, so she couldn't go on Star Tours or anything like that. So we only went on like the movie ride and the backlot tour, and everyone that went, and I remember my family being kind of disappointed in it. Granted, it was the first year it was open. I'd also been to Animal Kingdom the first year it was open, and again, like I also was at a California Adventure the first year it was open, and it was cool to be there the first year, but to see how those parks have changed and grown since they were open is staggering. I hear there's lots of changes going on at Disney right now, though, with all these IPs and all that, but that's for another video. You can see we're starting to work on this Central Plaza idea here. And again, as I'm building this, I know it's too big, but I'm going to roll with it and kind of make sure that it's too big. And by the end of the episode, I'm telling you, I know it's too big. So I'm just going to have to roll with it for this episode. And hopefully at the beginning of episode 2, we will go ahead and have this all looking better. So I wanted to block out basic shapes. And again, a lot of this is heavily inspired by real life. I've been doing a lot of street view. It's really cool to have Hollywood Studios have street view. And I've been doing a lot of, satellite images and pictures and stuff like that. So very, very close to how it actually is laid out in real life. So that's kind of what we're going for here. We're going to go for a big old Hollywood Studios ripoff. Does that mean we're going to have a Tower of Terror ride? I don't know. I wasn't excited for that ride before they announced it. And then after all the people that were excited were like bummed, that made me even less excited. So will we? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. No promises. In my RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 Disney park, I had planned on one, but it never made it that far. And this probably won't either. Oh! I just jinxed myself. No, we're gonna make it all the way. I'm actually very excited. I'm bummed because, man, Jonty Geekism is kicking my hiney when it comes to putting out this content. He is all about the Studios pack right now, and I am so jealous of him and his massive amounts of work getting done, as well as all the other people on BroNation that are just rocking socks. And here I am. It takes me forever to get anything done. I've been working on for a week on this. That's not true. But that the issue is I'm balancing a whole bunch of Planet Coaster projects right now. So that's why I'm having a hard time getting anything long enough for a video put together. So if you're curious, I do have a baseball stadium video just about ready. And I've got this now. And I don't have a conifer, but we're working real hard on getting that next BroCoaster video out to you. So I'm hoping in a week or two we'll have that. And so that's kind of why. And in the meantime, I'm filling the channel with other things that I have kind of already pre-recorded and ready to go. And so you can expect hopefully some more Planet Coaster in the next week or two. And sprinkled in there'll be some more Surviving Mars, and there might be some more Civ. We're going to probably do a Civ live streams next week, because hopefully this will drop on Easter Sunday, and if it did, happy Easter to you, and if it didn't, then happy belated Easter to you. But you can expect live streams on Wednesdays and Sundays, because I'm digging those a lot. I am really loving the live streams, and I'm loving doing Planet Coaster on the live streams. It's a good way to get stuff done, talk to some people, and you get your Planko fill without me having to spend hours putting the time in to get a time-lapse video like this. So yeah, this is going to be the last shop that I attempt to build, and it's awful, so you will see me delete it quickly. Like, you can see that the inspiration for this shop just ain't there. It just isn't there. I gotta do some more research, see what they put in that corner, see if I want to go the route of Hollywood Studios. And so yeah, you can expect updates on this. Probably I'll get a few out quickly, and then it'll trail off, and we'll switch to something else. Probably another conifer or another stadium, because I still want to get that baseball stadium done. I'm in too deep on that. So hopefully you're excited to see me use Adventure Pack. I do plan to use more of the Adventure Pack. I know right here it's a lot of art shapes and stucco, but that's kind of what we're going to go for with this Art Deco kind of thing. So patience, but I plan to use a lot of the props. And I plan to use the other wall set in a different part of the park because it's really, really cool. I do like it a lot. So thanks so much for watching today. I do appreciate your views and your time. I know that you have lots of other people you could be watching, and I appreciate you watching me. Hit the like button if you want to see more Planet Coaster and more of this series, like I'm sure a bunch of you want to do. And be sure to check out all the awesome content on the channel. You can find me on Twitter at MassBandit102. And you can find me streaming on Wednesdays and Sundays. So with all that being said, if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. And I will see you for the next episode of BroNation Studios. Have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, everyone.